Paranoia sweeping wide. Jorgamo's a menace at this point. Back to multiple players. No swing in sight.
Pode marotar demais, vamos ver o time, escapa da bug. Lastezinho, leva 3 jogadores, e aí?
Hey-oh.
For map 2, I gotta ask you, the team had rounds, they clawed back there, they're looking great, the mental's there. What have you guys been focusing on to make sure this is the case?
I mean, we just have that never give up mentality. Credit to G2, they came out with a really unique game plan. They adapted well after their first pause, but like we were playing a little bit of chess back and forth, you know, where we were trying to adapt what we thought they were going to do and whatnot, but ultimately I think we pulled through with enough rounds on T side and some really good adaptions on defense, especially our retakes to kind of close out the half.
All right, thanks for the insight. Good luck in game 2.
That one went the distance, and MIBR is getting the dub on the board, winning their map pick. Let's talk about how they got it done. Diving straight into the second half, because another game just ending up in a 6-6 scenario in the first half.
That's
so we just literally not even going to talk about it. We're not even going to address this. Let's talk about the second half, though. It was neck and neck. Like, this one was such a close one to call up until the very end.
I mean, Aspas came out the gates on the Waylay 7-0. And yeah, you know, MIBR had to sweat for those 6 in the first half. I thought they were working really hard. They looked great out there in the first half, grinding out the 6. G2, they were old G2 here. Honestly, the util was on point. They were retaking. They were flooding into the sites really well. But there was just some misplays at the end of the game, and they all went towards MIBR's side.
Yeah, it was crazy, right? Because there were a few of these moments where like G2, like Valorant's able to get the 2 kills over in main, turn that into a round win. But whether it's those rounds where G2 narrowly steal it back, like Trent down long, killing 2 people in a 1-on-3, but then doesn't have enough bullets to finish off the last guy. Like those late round moments were all going to MIBR.
Yeah, there was I mean, I saw on the screen in the break, there was someone that tweeted about it. We said that the leaf whiff on B was at just a very weird time in the game, and it did cost them the game. I think, you know, every player stepped up in their moments. It was a great map of Valorant. MIBR just came up huge in those key moments, and they made the Waylay look really good throughout pretty much the majority of the game, I would say.
What's the takeaway from the opposition then? Is there anything you feel like you can point your finger at? Like, this is what needs to be cleaned up heading into the second map?
For G2,
yeah.
I would say, again, it's these late round moments that are starting to slip away from them. I think they have the talent. Trent is continuing to perform insanely well coming off of Kickoff, where I think in Bangkok he was the best player for this team. But yeah, it's those sort of chaotic late round moments that were also plaguing them when they played T1 in that finals. Like, how many rounds just barely slipped away from them. That's what's not working on this map. This map's just unlucky for them.
PTSD, Pearl. It's happening again.
It's okay, we can just move on. Actually, we can't. I still want to talk about it. I want to talk about the Aspas Waylay. We saw Jogama on it last week. Now we got to see the Aspas on Waylay. How are we feeling about it?
Oh, this was pretty sick. He used the double dash to get top box R on this pistol. That's how he catches his 3rd kill right there, back sight. Recalls back. We got to see really pretty much the whole kit. We definitely got to see some whiffed ults, though. And the ults didn't really play out too well. But the pairing with the Taewall, the idea was there. I saw what they were cooking.
I think when he was playing it a little bit more like Chamber-esque with like the walk forward, TP out, where he was like disrespecting smokes and finding kills and then dodging back away, those looks were going a bit better for him. I do still feel like on defense he would get more value out of like a Jet with an operator because of him not getting the value with the ult. It was harder for me to justify it.
As we're getting ready to head into Haven now, let's hear what JoshRT had to say ahead of this map.
I am here with JoshRT before map 2. Aspas and squad come out swinging once again. They were throwing pretty hard haymakers there. What's kind of the talks going into map 2 here to make sure the team can right the ship and find a map 3?
The main talk was basically like, are we going to learn from our lessons from Bangkok, right? I was telling the players, like, let's embrace the challenge, embrace the pressures, because it's very similar to how it was. And so let's see. Let's prove to ourselves that we can make it work, and then close this game.
All right, can't wait to see the results. Best of luck in map 2.
I love that. Yeah, Haven, that's their map pick. They went 1-1 in Bangkok. They played it against T1 in the final. They also played it here in the Kickoff final against Sentinels and took that dub. I love that though.
I do. It's very telling that Josh said it reminded him of Bangkok like that. The pressure settling in. And yeah, the PTSD moment, it's Pearl. That was their map 5 against T1, and it felt kind of similar. They fell short in OT. They feel the pressure of these fights right now, and MIBR are winning them all.
Yeah, well, let's see. Let's see how this one is going to play out. It has to go to map 3, right? I feel like it needs to. Find out if we get 3 right after this.
Words from JoshRT to his team in that break. Embrace the challenge, embrace the pressure for G2, but again, they've got to embrace a fat L that got served up to them by Aspas and the crew. Pearl was great though, man. We kind of got to see exactly what we hoped to in this series, including a little bit of waylay action. Going into the next map of Haven, it's not one we've actually seen MIBR on this year.
At all. And the last time we saw G2, it was a loss to T1 at Bangkok, and now picking into the map. Excited to see what they have in store for us here. It's always a risk going up against the unknown. Don't know what MIBR are going to be bringing into the mix. It's just a map that they've been floating. So I'm excited to see if MIBR will continue the waylay, perhaps. We saw EG doing that prior.
Feels like the kind of map where maybe it's a bit more open. Having the jet to dive into a cloudburst feels better than maybe using waylays.
Reliable.
Yeah, you can be a bit exposed otherwise, right?
Still good. Still a very good agent. And yeah, Aspas will be on the jet, so nothing too crazy. It's just a Tejo in the place of, with this comp, you would just normally see the Sova, but they want to have that synced up utility with the Breach. Oh, and Bruno's got his jersey. That's good.
Okay. That dry cleaning here in LA is very good. You can thank the film industry for that one. And it's G2, of course. So Yoru again for Jorgamo. So both teams here with the Tejo Breach, which will mean that passive or safe info gathering for both teams will be limited. There's going to be more focus on the set plays, linking up that, initiated util, and using someone like Jorg to get in and maybe start to dig some crucial insights out about how MIBR is set up on the attack side.
Exciting to see where G2 have taken this since then. I mean, yeah, JoshRT saying that they want to win this to prove to themselves that they can make this comeback happen. Off the back of that loss of Bangkok that we discussed, a nice week 1, confident, pretty strong win against Furia. Now going up against a really tough opponent that's been on the grind for the last month. New addition, roster upgrade, players, the rookies getting comfortable on stage. There's so much to look at for MIBR in regards to positives, and still it feels like they're on the way up in their crescendo.
Yeah. Loaded with rookies, and this is 2 of the top 3 teams in the league, and they are laying into each other. Haymakers in their previous map. They might be on the attack side here, so do expect a burst of pace here as they really like to get active on the map. In towards Garage might be the play here.
Steltron gets a lot of info. They're going to have to trigger this. Sheer and matter of fact, it's Aspas just caught alone.
Okay, now some of that...
Stunned up too.
Yeah, but no follow-up on the util because Garage was already vacated by Leaf. He didn't have to hang around there. This is messy stuff though. Jorgamo's going to have to take a fight out on the side. It's Aspas going 1-for-1 though. Valen up in the corner. Gets the spike drop loose, but Shenum chimes in there with the classic. It's Artazine to find one of his own. And it's up to the young gun himself. Second year in the league.
Sharp from Jonah to collect onto the flanker through Garage.
Okay, gets ahead of this. He knows it's coming. Flash turn and oh, so close. Jonah P outlasts him and gives G2 that defensive pistol.
Brought down to 10 by Artzin. So close in that 1 versus 2, but Jonah really stepped up that heads up play to just keep the crosshair trained over on Garage. Immediate tap to get them into that 2 versus 1 initially. Off of what was a pretty cool execute from MIBR, making the most of the utility that you do have in that pistol round. Guided salvos, forcing players out of their standard default crossfires back sight, able to swing through, but G2 traded out very well.
The guided
Fundamentals
salvo
for them, always solid.
going to see a lot of this util in the early rounds, and when it comes to those executes. This time, over towards that A side here is Jorgamo's already gone up towards that Outlaw. And once again, MIBR probably looking to probe here towards Garage. Or at least use Aspas to that effect. Okay, Trent's able to re-clear up towards Lobby. It's just Cortezio was passively sat down, now headed towards mid.
Looks again like MIBR want to explore through Garage, where at least at the moment Leaf is favoring using that one tripwire that he's got. It's going to be a crucial aspect of the G2 defense is that they don't have a lot of passive info gain. They need to be proactive at taking space, finding out where MIBR are playing, controlling a lobby, and they have the utility pieces to do it.
Yeah, they don't have a Cypher just to leave a bunch of trips on the site and play off them. They have to use their Initiator util to get in or disrupt those plants and find openings. That's a big one though, Aspas. Gonna fall early here. That's honestly just across that seaside entirely, and Leaf says, that's enough for me for now. We're gonna go for the retake, just like Pearl.
Exactly what G2 want to do. Get that initial kill, group up, retake Garage, go for the full 5-on-5, or 5-on-4 rather retake. It is effortless from them.
Better weapons, take no undue risks. We saw a couple of really important thrifties in that previous map that dictated the flow of the latter rounds. And there's Shenum eventually getting brought down. Artazine will not be able to hide in copy. And that's G2. Those first two locked in. A bonus that will feature this Outlaw as well.
It is just textbook G2. Rare that they falter in situations like that. Rare that they will ever make the lower percentage risky decision versus
unless it's
Valen
running down a man with Stinger, but it's only once in a blue moon.
Calculated risk at the time. Very clean though, all things considered here from G2.
That was yours, Jonah. I'm sorry, Jonah.
Kill stealing? Crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, he's pretty close to the dimensional drift though. Jonah can't be too mad.
Yeah, 3 away.
Professor must have done the science, the math.
He did the math. He did that complicated math, yeah. Okay, pings here over towards A-Long. Okay, G2 slowed up here. We're hoping to get into sewer early, get embedded. Make use of this util, or maybe make a bit of a defensive pop here. Aspas challenging Trent and just finds it. I mean, you can rely on him for moments like that. He wants a little bit more. He's low, but he fancies a bit of argy-bargy on the coil with Valen. Deals with the opposing superstar, and then time for exfil.
Yeah, they are on the run. It's an immediate pivot from MIBR, realizing, of course, that the death ball with that Breach Tejo, etc. were playing towards A. Players are cut off. Little awkward as Verno wants to take space forward. I like this, getting in the smoke here.
Okay, just delays the Cyber Cage throw down for Cortezio. It's not the end of the world. Verno, this smoke's going to come down, and it's about to get extremely awkward. Valen sat on the other side of it here. And that Tejo util going to be thrown out. They're going to try and scale into Link, potentially, or just stall things out a little bit further. Then it's Artazine going down. Leaf coming in from the C side of the map. Valen's going to go big here, and he does. 3 with the Spectre. This is the bonus round. Remember that. Valen and Leaf here still need to find a way to get this defuse happening, and Shenum will step up. Gets to half. Here's the swing. Shenum down, and Valen takes 4 out of a bonus. G2 are laughing all the way to the bank.
A pretty opportune time for your IGL to go nuclear, while MIBR played that post plant well. I like that setup, having Verno in the dark covers that were cycling in Link, and then as he realizes the second one was about to drop, no one from G2 is pushed in. They didn't have a flash to get in there. He retreats, and then they immediately fault line with the salvos and swing together, but Valen just collects all of the kills. With that SMG, close range, distance closed, well done from him. Bonus round converted.
Force for MIBR. They're still chomping at the bit here to try and unseat G2 and put a lid on this economy.
Yeah, they can afford to get this little half buy in and still have a full buy for the next on account of just the round loss bonus accruing from 3-0 at the moment. They want to go fast into A. All of Leaf's util to contend with, though.
Okay, gate crash though at least means Jorga's going to be here as well. Leaf is good for that first one, isn't he? Aspas is very low. Leaf opts for a re-swing, but Aspas will punish him for his hubris. Okay, Jorga was going to be caught by this and hoped to tuck in the corner, but couldn't get there, and Shenum takes a swing timing off that special delivery. Trent has one of his own though. Slows up MIBR, and here's going to be Valen. Spike out in the open. Shenum a long way away from it now. Can only hope to smoke it and gets brought down.
We really see the efficiency there, that setup. Leaf is able to cause that delay with the vines on the ground with the wall, and then the teleport over from Jaw when he's in trouble, needs a teammate to set up the crossfire.
The razor vines.
Again, so many G2 rounds, I just keep going back to the word effortless, but they make it look like that because they are such a well-rounded, fundamentally sound team. It's what has kept them consistently at the top. Like, even when we go back to last year, they couldn't get that elusive trophy in 2024, but they were always at that S-tier rank in Americas. They never slipped from that. They're maintaining that and pushing above where they were then with the addition of Jaw. But the floor for this team just feels so high.
So we're sticking these? Okay.
Yeah, sometimes just going for that C-split off the immediate Omen teleport. Pretty common strat. Aspas. Oh my god, he can't get away with that.
That is the second round in a row that Aspas has been able to find one at less than 8 HP, or 9 HP rather.
Do G2 want to risk this? Economy's not too bad. They could try and prod towards Garage, see if they can maybe get that first kill flash.
Trent can't play off of it. Oh, he just doesn't have the timing, Wyatt. Aspas is too clean with it. Jorgamo trying to play up the clone here. Cortesia aptly flash, but Verna release is going to be good for the trade. Here's Jonah. Why me, he asks. At the end of that previous round, he might be asking that again. A successful C-split off the Omen TP here for MIBR. Looks to be getting them onto the board.
Really, a lot of this game, with how neck and neck it's been, have just come down to little individual duels lost on the side of G2. Aspas collecting that kill in the garage fight where he's caught on default. Also Shenum getting a kill out of the teleport. And even when you think back to Pearl, a couple of those whiffed shots resulted in MIBR getting critical round wins. Coming down to the small things when two teams are this high caliber.
So some discussion there happening. We've got a frozen timer, so you know what that means, folks. A brief interlude here and a chance to discuss maybe what we sort of saw. Now, you cannot manufacture that kind of round consistently. Genome obviously making use of that ultimate to get into the backline. This moment, I mean, it's literally the same thing happened to him on the A side in the prior round with the Stinger. He goes to 5 health and still finds the kill, even though it's the drop that gets gotten on him.
I have to say, it's been a strange day so far for Leaf. If you want to really examine him individually, he has been both the catalyst of some snappy, sick 3Ks, outright winning rounds for G2 at times, but also has had a couple really bad whiffs. And no, it's a very basic part of the game to look at, but they've come in critical moments. Like, that's one where you expect him 99% of the time to just get that free kill, even things up, go back into the 4-on-4. Back on Pearl, there was that really pretty bad whiff spray down
the B-side
on Artzin in a 2v2, which resulted in an eco round win. Again, it's just these little moments that are really adding up.
There's an audio issue down on stage there, something that Jorgamo is, looks like he's pretty satisfied, is resolved.
Gave me the head nod, should be good to go. Nope, gave the ref the head nod, should be good to go.
Okay. Ref's walking away, love to see that as well. Moments from jumping back in. Remember, it's a 3-round lead here for G2. They win the pistol and they have a pretty insane bonus round that they're able to convert on pretty comfortably.
Please, release me from the tech pause dungeon. Return to, okay. Aspas has returned to sentience.
He's rebooted himself.
Back in the game.
Back online. And yeah, so G2 obviously getting away with a heck of a lot early on, but it's a nice round for MIBR. It's can they manufacture that consistently without an Omen TP into the backline to set up a C-split? That's the question. 06. I was 15. Sorry. So stupid. And honestly, looking excellent. A great last map. He is second to top frag on the Taeho on Pearl. Incredible showing from him. A great adjustment.
Oh, this is some speed from MIBR. They do have a Rolling Thunder to try and go for a slight execute after taking long control. There it is. Do they clear out Jaw in the corner, though?
Aspas has to drop with it, but the timing doesn't favor him. This time around, he's able to catch Trent out.
Yeah, that crosshair was completely obscured by the updraft dash. Jaw not ready to take that second engagement. Artzin takes full advantage of that situation, connecting an easy headshot onto him. G2 risk this. Look at the state of their economy.
Surely not trying to retake on this map. The ace side on Haven of all things. With money in the doldrums. You slowly see them start to pull back. VALORANT is still in heaven.
And you know that you're just staring in the face of that wave of initiator utility that's just going to hit you when you're trying to get out of the choke point, or even worse, when time is dwindled and you're forced to stick the spike.
Fault line, special delivery, it's all there.
It's just such a
Paranoia.
disadvantage. Yeah, they feel the need to retreat, and you certainly cannot blame them. They'll have a decent enough buy into the next, where they're still retaining a couple ultimates here.
Okay. Tough for G2. They get absolutely overwhelmed by their burst of pace for MIBR, and that's how they like to play it. 4 young players plus Aspas, they like to ride the lightning. Beautifully done, and they are in the game well and truly now, folks. And that money for G2 is looking extremely questionable.
See if they try to full buy into this right now. It's just that moment where Jaw wants to go for this shot, but what a difficult one to hit.
And again, we see how good that stalled util is for G2, and they actually have the ability to play from behind it, but at that level of speed, MIBR mostly get ahead of it. They mostly strike a mortal blow before Leaf can get anything set up.
I've been shackled and dragged back into the Tech Boss dungeon, Mitch. Release me, please. Get me back into the game, no.
We simply follow in the footsteps of Panpoc, all right? You will take your medicine, Wyatt, and you will like it. So MIBR now putting 2 rounds together. Talk about icing the kicker, though. Plenty of time for them to consider how they go about clambering further back into this game. Now, G2 obviously, prior to that round, they have a 3-gun save, right? They were in a position where they've got to awkwardly, try and retake on towards that A side. It's just not going to happen for them. So they have 3 rifles, 4 in fact, so far, and that dimensional drift here. Is there going to be any space to make use of that? That's a great question. It's obviously a great option for defenders in the mid-round to get an idea of where the attackers are going. But MIBR, so decisive. They don't dilly-dally in that mid-round. They don't sort of back and forth across the map. They're pretty set on their intended ending destination. So where are the edges to come from? Can G2 maybe make use of this Steel Garden for a retake if they get in onto that A side? But earlier, we spoke with MIBR's Cortesia about the team's game plan in 2025, and it's not just Aspas go kill.
Yeah, for me and for my team, the strategy is only play our game. We don't think a lot about the other team. We know we are good, maybe better than, and we need to show in the server is the only thing. We are doing really good presses this month with Verno, so we only need to put that game inside the server.
I mean, that aside from Cortesia, fantastic English for a young bloke as well. I mean, and this was talked about a little bit, that one of the reasons that Verno is able to slot into this team is that a lot of MIBR can communicate in English. We heard Artazine, earlier on, of course, on that split game, saying how good he was at the game, but clear English. Aspas, we know, of course, is able to do that. So what a dream for Verno to slot into this, theoretically Portuguese-speaking roster and just have that infrastructure already in place with a coach as well that speaks perfect English. We know, Frod's been around in the NA scene for a long time.
1.5/6
yes.
slash all those games legend of the olden days.
And again, it's been very, very good to see an MIBR. And it's just hard to do, right? I mean, I want to use Sentinels as an example, who've also brought in, like, a wave of that younger talent into their team, right? I would say that Bang and Narrate qualify in that regard. And, trying to find a way to integrate them to the same level as, and to give a performance that they were able to do with, like, Sassy and Tens, who are really cool, calm, collected, very stable individuals. It's not easy to replicate that success when you have this infusion of young players. But Aspas, he handpicked that initial MIBR roster. Nosma leads the team. The average age only drops when they bring in the youngest player in America's, Verno, to take his place.
You really didn't expect Verno to get a spot on the team straight away, honestly. It just didn't seem like there were going to be any openings. Not a condemnation on his skill, but it's just the fact that everyone seemed to be set in what they had for Kickoff. So it's crazy that he got an opportunity at all, just on the back of that information. But yeah, further that he's on MIBR of all teams. I respect the risk taken, though.
Absolutely.
And Frod spoke a lot about, what you were talking about with what you would assume would have been communication issues, just not having reared their head. A lot of communication in English. I mean, it is still funny that he dropped the Verno High School Spanish line, and that's close enough to Portuguese. All good. Was kind of funny, but hey, if it works, it works. He said that he can understand the simple, call-outs that are being made, so all good, man.
Fair enough.
Fair enough.
Now, it is still a audio issue that's being ironed out down on the stage for those that are wondering. We should be jumping into the game momentarily. Also, Verno got his jersey here for game 2. That's got to represent a power-up, for him. And this is Aspas. I mean, he's been doing this for quite a few years now, man. Just reclining, just soaking it in. Feels like a part of the furniture in this particular room here. He's spent a lot of time plying his trade within these 4 walls. And on the other side, it is another previous world champion trying to topple him after G2 give away an exciting pearl. It's a 14-12 map, goes to overtime. We feel like we get to see flashes of the very best that these two are to offer, flashes of a potential future at Americas for both these rosters, and the future, man, it looks bright. Just like that stage light right in Aspas' face.
It's tough to get good rest
Exactly.
when you've got that
He's not got
straight in your retinas.
where the blue light filters at. Forgot them, didn't he?
Aspas really has been the exact same guy for years, which is kind of wild. He just started that way. He was never not chill.
Yep.
He's just
He
always
is a
been
rock
the chillest man.
that someone has placed 2 plushies upon, and he has remained that way ever since. Yeah, I mean, and look, isn't that, I think if you want a franchise player, you want a star player, that's what you ask for, right? Someone who's consistent, who in that sense is like kind of predictable, stable. It's a consistent high output from him. God, over the years, like Aspas has maintained this level that has been so ridiculously solid, even, absurdly flashy at times. And games where he goes off the boil are so rare. I mean, he actually did that in MIBR's last match, but guess what? The quality around him is enough such that they still find success without him going nuts. We know, of course, Aspas is one of our league's most talented players, and I'm not surprised to report that he also has talents we didn't know about, so check this out.
Oi, é o Aspas da MIBR e hoje eu vou mostrar pra vocês uma coisa muito legal. E a gente vai fazer o Show Intel. Um vídeo de quando eu tava na Loud apareceu de eu pulando numa caixa na academia bem alta, então eu queria ver o quão alto eu consigo pular. A gente mediu o tanto que eu consigo alcançar parado e deu 92 inches, 2 metros e 34 centímetros.
Aspas not even holding back right now.
Come on, man!
114. Muito obrigado por acompanhar o meu Show Intel. Me deixa saber se você consegue pular mais alto e eu vejo vocês nas próximas.
I mean, I'd say sign this guy up for the NBA Combine, but he's busy dunking on people here in VCT Americas, and I'd rather like to keep him. Why?
Yeah, he could have. He could definitely recreate LeBron's historic block on Iguodala to win the Game 7 finals. He's got a future. He's got a future at ball, bro.
I'm seeing the timer countdown, which is always a good sign. Did we hear a Bala? Was there a Bala sound bite there?
I heard Bala's voice as well. That almost brought a tear to my eye. I'm not gonna lie.
Big shout out to boy
I
Arden.
missed that, man.
Hope you're doing well, mate. Here we go. Jumping into round number 7 with MIBR on this attack side. Again, a gate crash over towards A or B link rather, so Jor can help out at A should it be required.
Now, if you remember years ago when we saw round 6, MIBR, they went for that very fast push down A long, fighting into that site immediately with the Rolling Thunder.
Was Verno even born then?
That's a great question. We'll get the professor, the mathematician, to look into that one.
Thanks, Jonah. All right, here, straight up courtyard. MIBR ambling over towards this B side, released. Artazine and Aspas are. Jorgamo sees a shoulder. Aspas gets in, straight into the cloudburst. Jorg does not want to dice with death. He's happy with the 1. Here's the plant, though. Or at least just a tickle now to try and draw it.
What the hell, man? What the hell?
Okay. It's okay. Trent down to the shorty now. Fault line comes in as MIBR have tried to push through. Get this gently position, but Aspas will be corralled. Caught, taken down, and Valen strikes into action. Cortezia doesn't know what hit him. Zenom TP's over towards the seaside, but this is definitely improvised now. MIBR have had to cobble something together, and Jorg says, stow it.
Jaw does everything for G2 in that round. Aspas, for MIBR, he was doing the most. Some say too much. Some say being a little extra. I mean, after he gets the drop down shorty, he was trying to push through Link. MIBR trying to pivot into this crazy split with everyone else going through Garage. Some madness, but
One enemy remaining.
I respect the idea. Ultimately, it's the dimensional drift that Jaw rips in the midst of that to give all of that proactive info to the team. He really steps up to win that round out.
And that was the question, like, where was Jorg supposed to find room to make use of that? It's a great example of, even in a fast play from his opponents, getting good info and being able to be snappy and reactive off of it. Now we're looking over towards the C side, at least initially here. Aspas, of course, can dash into a cloud burst. This is going to get Valen moving pretty quickly, and Jorg's pushed up. Okay, it's a oh, buddy, that's gone horribly wrong. A re-clear attempt out of Garage. Cortezia knocks him down.
And in the meantime, MIBR know it's time to freely scale into the C site, get that plant down, and in the meantime, still doubled up. Cortezia wants to go forward. Shannon with him, the two MIBR rookies.
Jonah's got to commit here to see Cortezia, and the Hatless Cypher deals with Jonah. Now we have Leaf and Valen back to back here in Link. Really nowhere to go at this point. They're just trying to get out with these weapons. Cortezia and Jenem still grouped up here. Cortezia, what a menace this round he has been. His Reign of Terror brought to an end. Fault line nipping at the heels of Alan as he tries to pull off that B site, and they should be able to get out here. A couple guns saved. He might be able to go exploring, but there's likely nothing to see.
They just desperately want to take these guns away because despite the fact that they're down by 3 currently, their economy is actually better than G2, so means a lot for them if they could have taken them out of their hands. Ultimately, they can't. They'll be more than happy with the round win, however. Just doing a really nice job there.
So this is the Jorg effect here, like this little bit of like, let's take an aggressive pop here, let's find a timing.
Yeah, and they tried to do that actually at the beginning of the round too. Straight off barrier drop. Trent sends the salvos deep mid at that doorway choke point so Jaw can swing then. Then they try to take the timing again. Flash just doesn't connect. The shutdown with ease. Cortezia having one of those beautiful moments where he hits nothing but headshots, which is what he does sometimes up to 70% of the time in recorded matches, which is
absurd.
A little outrageous.
Genuine headshot machine. Great round from him. He's going to get nestled up against the garage doors here, upon which Jonah waits on the other side. And another push here from G2. Now, of course, the weaponry is a bit dodgy, so trying to make use of these sheriffs. Valen, of course, at the 4, still with a rifle in hand. Will get tucked here, below mid-window. Feels like a one and done.
After that sound was made towards C, MIBR, they are slowly pivoting over towards A, where they'll eventually have to contend with Leaf, really entrenched around those razor vines that he's got, and they want Cortezia to be that, oh my god, late backstab, but he might try to get proactive earlier, seeing that jump spot.
Okay, Valen's got himself in the mid-window here. He's that, okay, Steel Guard and Cortezia finds the better of Jonah P. Just great patience over that round. Valen's going to hear this. Has to hear this. They don't know he's there. Is there going to be enough? Come on, buddy. Valen needs more. I can't believe I'm saying it, but he does. 3 years old is going to be able to find from that, and it's up to Trent, who is, well, basically in a different postcode at this stage, Wyatt.
I would say he needs more. Definitely illustrates the desperation in that moment. He does all that he can. All the while, it was Cortezia getting space towards C, finding that kill. Well, Jonah was trying to get out of Garage, 1v1 versus Jaw. Now it's 2 versus 1. They just need to trade this out.
Oh, buddy. Welcome to the school of hard knocks. Verno sends Trent packing out of the round there, and it's just a horrible start again that G2 can't recover from.
It's just one of those rifles that was saved over that. Valen almost.
God, what a spot he gets himself into.
Happen with. This is so sick. What a time to take. I mean,
they're not ready.
Listen, not the craziest transfer, but even able to get that 3rd headshot onto Aspas is so clean.
Verno bailed him out there, Wyatt. No 2 ways about it. Could have been a 4K from that position. They are so unprepared for Valen to be nestled there. But now a 1-round game. Back to rifles though for G2.
Back to rifles. Max by both sides with an Armageddon ready to go as well. G2's economy really in shambles while MIBR are swimming in infinite cash at the moment. It's going to be an uphill battle on these last few rounds. G2 will not be able to put them on an eco at all.
Well, this is going to be very illuminating. Stealth drone going to be cleared off here, and Artazine wants to push onto the site. Good damage already done here to Trent. He's down to 3. Fault line catches him out. Armageddon to clear the corner. There's no one quite there. Okay, Verno just runs straight into that aftershock. JoshRT gets a big one, and then Shenom showing himself. Jorgamo, what a correction. Now it's MIBR who have a horrible start to the round that looks like they too struggle to recover. Aspas can trade, but Jonah's ready. Sick round from him.
Absolutely, this has been so good so far, unless Cortesia can be the man of the hour for MIBR. He's got 2 weak players that he'd be able to dispatch with ease if he gets into a duel, unless there's an insta-headshot from either Trent or Jaw when they meet. He's got the spike, minimal amount of time. C-site is free, though.
He's going to have some breathing room. Cyber Cage, of course, as well.
How does he try to play this? Yeah. Try to get into garage? Does he try to fight forward towards the cage? He's got options at the moment.
Jorg and Trent have 8 health between the two of them. They are so flimsy, so fragile at this time. And they're looking to test this. Trying to timing, the spacing's not quite there. You've got to go for it now, Trent. I think you might have him. No, he opts not to take the timing. Cortesia sees him and takes him down. That's 3 for young Carlton Banks, and JoshRT is the only one that stands in his way. Bide his time. Cold hard killer is Cortesia. Jonah gives it a tap here, and Cortesia is lingering forward. It's JoshRT! What an important clutch to win! And the Professor sees all realities. And this one he wins in.
Important feels like an understatement given the status of G2's economy. MIBR surging back into the half up until that point. Even prior in the round had some really significant utility. Then pivoting over towards that B site, supporting Leaf, who is fighting in front of the wall. Ultimates expended, but for really good value. The Armageddon that caught Verno as well when they shut down that A execute prior from MIBR. Really comprehensively, G2 making all of the right decisions there outside of when things get scrappy in the 3v1 with the HP that low.
That was such
It's tough regardless.
Such an interesting moment was Jorg and Trent up against Cortesia because they're both like 3 and 5 health respectively, right? Cortesia gets the first kill, then goes for neural theft. Now Trent normally would take that timing before the ping comes in to swing and to take the trade. But he's got util out because he's bloody Teo. That's all he does. He's like util dispenser. And so he doesn't have the opportunity to take advantage of that time. And Cortesia realizes he's there because of neural theft, takes the kill and turns it into a 1v1. There's so many moving parts in these Teo breach comps, White. You can get caught with, you know, your hands on a grenade as opposed to your gun.
Absolutely. That is one of the times that you will see teams falter when you're running this comp. It's just, there's so many moving parts. You will have moments where you're caught with util, you're caught out of position, a timing doesn't get synced up because someone was trying to make something happen with one of their pieces of util.
The temptation to get elaborate with it.
There's a lot going on. Sometimes when you're watching, it feels kind of simple because everything's just exploding at once, but there's a lot of moving parts when you're actually trying to execute it all perfectly. All right, MIBR, they've got another full buy here. Aspas has even actually gone into the Outlaw. We'll have 2 soft targets that just have the regen armor for G2.
And we're off to A-Long here. This time an extra commitment for G2. JoshRT's going to be here with a fault line to play off of. Oh, buddy! Artazine tries to head for the heals. But it's his heals instead that get nipped. Spike recovered, no problems there, but MIBR down to 4. No breach util to work with. It's up to Verno here to have this initiation.
That's a really cool trap play set up out of the timeout. MIBR, they have been putting emphasis on trying to fight towards A long, so let's play it even heavier. It's what G2 are thinking. Let's have more util. Let's set up to really take the fight to them. Love that decision. And now whatever plans MIBR had going into this round, completely thrown a miss.
Shannon's going to try and make something happen there, but I don't know if he expects all the King's horses to be looking at him. And MIBR again, they have an early round that results in them going down 2 players. They almost salvaged previously. But to do it again, Lightning does not strike twice here. Okay, VALORANT wins that out. It's just awkward for Cortesia in general. Aspas gets clear at least of the Rolling Thunder now. Still hopes to put this Outlaw to work in some way. And Verno eventually wins. Sewers, where the rats live, and Verno is able to capitalize. Aspas now surgical precision would be the attempt. The scalpel is snapped. And it's Verno. Does take down VALORANT, but G2, of course, still with 3 rifles to work with, and they know Verno just has no options here. You take all the high school Spanish you want. It's not going to get you out of this round.
There's no time. The shots look pretty sick, at least from the point of views of those who are going down to the young phenom. Ultimately, G2, they start that off out of the timeout from MIBR, yet going for this aggro trap play over at a long that I really like. From there, things get out of hand as MIBR individuals feel that they need to be the one that will recover the situation. The shutdown going for those aggro plays by G2's defense.
And that's the kind of trap play we see a lot from Crew, for example, right? That defensive play down a long. They do it a lot more than G2, but spicing things up, mix it in here and there, it works perfectly. Great fault line timing.
Here.
And now we're looking at it, G2 might exit the defense side with 8 rounds.
Speaking of aggro, they want to fight down mid straight away. Jaw is tucked, dimensional drift across and get out, and he punishes Aspas straight away.
Just a weird angle. Like, what? You're not checking that if you're Aspas. You don't have time, and you don't expect someone to be there already.
Okay, this is the dynamic G2 that has gotten Jaw in the mix, going for looks like that. Last 2 rounds of the half, 2 completely different set initial plays at barrier drop. Neither of which MIBR were expecting, both times dropping a player. Still winnable for them in the 4 versus 5 with the Armageddon, and crucially, Artsin 1 kill away from getting the Rolling Thunder.
Armageddon here for Verno. It could punish a retake attempt from backseat. We'll see when he wants to go for it. Sam in the corner, and there's no follow-up there.
Jaw's just a little bit too fast here. No one can get through the cage to help, and Verno picks Leaf up on the flank.
It's all come crashing down here for G2. Jonah P has to think to salvage the round, and whoosh, that's a stinker.
A rare moment where it looks like the fundamentals of G2 getting scrambled. Jaw ahead of the rest of them.
The spacing's not there.
Had no one to trade for him backside. They didn't swarm in together onto that one solo player. From there, Verno collecting an easy kill on the flank into the Armageddon. Yeah, it's that moment.
It's just a straight solo play.
Struggles from G2 after 2 fantastic round openings to close out the half. MIBR will be grateful to win that in the 4 versus 5. Back on map 1, there was only 1 round where one of these teams got the win after losing a player first. So rare that that's happening in a game where both teams are looking so consistent.
Yeah, that 4v5 conversion crucial here. 2 rounds in this game. G2 have selected this map and they look strong to start, but MIBR fought back. We're headed to a break, and when we return, we'll see the conclusion of Haven. Side rounds for MIBR on G2's choice of Haven. It's honestly at times a pretty grindy half. G2 throw in some key variations like a trap play towards, a long that catches out MIBR, gives them a chance to build momentum, and in general, another really competitive half of VALORANT from these 2.
Absolutely, neck and neck. First time these 2 teams have actually faced off in 2025. And it's interesting, to see G2 take us to Haven. Last time they played this, a reminder of disaster at Bangkok, losing the final to T1 on the path to try to right those wrongs, have a successful stage 1, qualify for another international event, get that elusive trophy 1 day at a time, 1 match at a time. MIBR, they want to begin to write in the history books of their own with this young upstart roster that Aspas has put together.
And after the run that MIBR had last year, I mean, this is already so much better than we could have expected from them. On the other side, though, go G2. They've just made their way up C-Long here without any real contact until now. Bit of a gap in that smoke that Cortez is trying to exploit, but G2 Still haven't gone for the plant. Look where the spike is.
I love how fast MIBR has been able to gather up backside, set up these crossfires.
Still, JoshRT taking his sweet time. They're not convinced that this is where they need to be, but here comes the util. Trent's able to fire one, and there's Leaf coming alive now. The Ghost going to work. And it's Aspas here who takes a solo opportunity. JoshRT does get ripped a new one. Now, you can wait on this. Wait for Verno to join. Play it together.
Oh my god, VALORANT was sticking back sight. Leaf wasn't even covering him. I mean, that's unlikely that Aspas would take the risk to swing there, but my god, if he did, that would have been free. That would have been round done.
VALORANT on side itself. Leaf playing here from Garage, so obviously you can't put a crossfire together here. Verno might make a foray towards Garage here, but the timing might not be there. He might need to help backside, and I think he realizes that
shots arrive for both players. Verno trying to meet up with Aspas now.
Time short, but VALORANT gets taken down, and here comes the tap.
And it's planted for them.
Leaf! Oh, they might line up for him. That's another headshot. 3 for the round. And Aspas has got a defuse. Wins it out. And it was already gotten to half, like you mentioned, so Aspas can finish the job, and MIBR are looking to even this game up.
They're crucial for Verno to stick there while Leaf was forced to fight forward. That backside plant working against him, so concerned about someone trying to wrap through Garage, but it was the double up from MIBR.
You right-click. Oh, wait, dude. That's what you know.
That's tough when you're just sitting on default and you get randomly killed through the dark cover, but...
What do you do? That's the game.
After that moment, G2, they waited for that cycle on the salvos, had a nice re-hit, but ultimately it's Aspas, the star player for MIBR. Funny enough, the veteran on MIBR. I mean, who a couple years ago, I remember as just being, you know, the new guy with Loud that looked incredible. He was around the experienced players.
So much has changed. It's the Ninja Turtles meme, I think. All right, we are on the side here. Look at this. G2, of course, with this level of weaponry, bounce back after a really disappointing pistol. And they get this plant. They mow down the MIBR players on site.
As fast as the last round ended, they come into this one with stingers forcing in.
There's no time for Aspas to get any value on this outlaw at all. It's been basically neutralized. And now he's got to, retake 1v3 with it? He's going to have a crack. There's a little bit of a razor vine snarling him up. The liquid metal filaments here just gumming up the works. And he's going to have to walk away.
He just has to walk away with the outlaw for a sad, slow save. G2 came into this round
to a fast save.
with some ferocity, just gunning it down along with the Stingers. Did not expect that. That's the kind of move you make when you lose the pistol, you're already down by a lot, and we just got to throw something at the wall, see if it sticks. We don't want to let them get to OT or get way too close to OT. This game is neck and neck, and they take that bold risk. I respect it.
I love to see that. So many other teams would just let bygones be bygones and take an L in that anti-eco round. Here's how fast they hit the site. JoshRT sets him up, and they're just going to push this smoke, right?
They just don't expect that.
Control.
This teleport in as well from Jaw after the util comes through that wave.
Cutting through.
And even at that, it's so comprehensive that the players coming out of spawn, there's a, not a nebula, Gravwell rather, on the floor in front of the nebula. When they're getting into the site, it's just too much to wade through. Great execute from G2.
Aspas the raid boss in this round, full armor and outlaw to work with. Something that likely G2 are aware of.
Down. Very aware, given the status of their armor. That's
true.
Full on all 5 players, so none of them susceptible to that one singular shot. The MIBR Jet. G2 at that, they're not even playing anywhere close to him right now. They're just re-clearing towards A, using that very effective reconnaissance tool, the stealth drone. It gets so much distance. And now they can just walk forward, knowing they have that space for free.
And they might get to walk up onto this A side here. There's going to be limited to no resistance. They break camp there as they had stacked up, waiting for some sort of exploration. A lot of smokes here towards the back of the site, and it should be pretty straightforward stuff. In we go. So the retake here looks pretty grim. It's not something you want to do on this map, on this site as it is, and not with this weaponry either. Artesine and Verno have that util though to get them in. What can MIBR find in a round where they may as well go for it?
Yeah, this is I hope we can do some damage type situation, which would be really valuable. I mean, the G2 players, obviously the economy not too strong yet. Cortezia on this flank. Can he catch the timing?
I just don't see it. Leaf is, well, yeah, he's just looking at the wall.
And Trent is trying to jiggle for him, play off that contact. Actually, he's playing off a Leaf's contact now.
This is basically the Louvre. They have it on lockdown. Cortesi there. Heard footsteps as he alights. That's going to be a fault line played off of here. Valen steps back, some presence here in heaven. Yep. And there's your obligatory pick up there with the guided salvo. Shellam here having strips torn off him. He perishes to the spike blast, and Aspas the one who, again, it's a bit awkward, right? He saves his outlaw, but obviously doesn't get any cash.
Yeah, it's very, very awkward.
Just the 1K, right?
Because again, everyone on G2 will just be buying into the heavy armor. Most of their players retaining it, not taking any damage on that prior round anyhow. Rest of the team around him will be buying up rifles.
And Taeho, yeah, I mean, we've talked about this so much. Ubiquitous across all regions in Stage 1 and has kind of taken the game to such a util-heavy point with the combos with Breach here. The Yoru looks definitely, you know, it heralds a unique time, I think, in competitive Valorant.
Yeah, I mean, we could see a kickoff that the teams that weren't running it were at a disadvantage, like MIBR. Now, everyone pivoting into it. G2 here, they're taking fast garage control.
Okay, Jorg's going to see Cortesi, but headshot machine strikes again.
Yeah, just intuitive, knows the timing, knows he has a good opportunity to swing, go for the fight, capitalizes. Cortesi playing with some confidence right now that you love to see.
And they need it. MIBR need it. They won the pistol, and straight after that, things fall apart in the Inter Eco. This is how they get back to business, and again, you've kept the Outlaw against a team who is buying up full armor. Like, you've got to hit them heads. It's a big ask.
Had a fair opportunity, about the best he could get, but it only results in Jonah going down to 10 HP. As we go back, drifting into the 4 versus 4, with G2 having intentions of hitting this C site, allowing Leaf to try and work garage where Cortesi has been just ruling.
Is he in a great position to play off this trip? Not particularly. Info, I think, is all he's going to get from that. Here comes Aspas Smokes, now Cortesi's caught. He's stuck here, but he's going to win the fight out. Chalk up yet another headshot for the young lad.
30 seconds left.
The 3 remaining G2 player. Pardon? Easy? Okay.
20 seconds. G2 have to get on this. Verna doesn't have the salvos right now. They run into the trip and the neural theft. Guys, you're cooked.
This guy is unbelievable. Jonah P. Valen here. Going to be revealed on the side now, of course. That stealth drone comes in. Valen finally deals with the Cortesi threats. Barzine through the smoke will complete the round.
And aside from just winning, he'll be content getting the double and the defuse. That's about to give him the rolling thunder into this next round. Allowing MIBR an opportunity to string together a couple gun rounds, maybe stabilize their economy, as G2's has already been quite solid. This could be explosive, decent amount of ultimates on the field here.
So there's conditioning at work here. If you're G2, you are not feeling all that excited about trying to challenge the garage position on this map. Cortesi has been such a nuisance.
Nice!
Finding sick timings, dealing with Jorgamo. Constantly top of the scoreboard here for MIBR, 14-13. It's been a slug of a game, but he's been a shining point for MIBR.
We really knew, based on his off-season performance, that he was going to have a bright future ahead of him. It's just exciting to see him continue to progress as a player, reach that potential that you know he has. Finally, Aspas with a bit more money gets away from the Outlaw, upgraded to the Operator, but probably won't have a chance to fire it off. Dimensional Drift should put him right off this line.
Yep. He has to respect it, eventually. Caught by the fault line, though. Okay. Takes him a little longer to respect it, but he does.
He's getting bombarded.
I mean, this is a perfect take here for G2. All that util gets him onto the site. Tripwire, of course, triggered by Jonah, but there's no opportunity to play off that.
And now we have that aforementioned Rolling Thunder in the hands of Artzine. Got that last round to get in, but to counter that, Leaf is going to let this Steel Garden rip.
Okay, that is going to bleed more time off the clock here. MIBR forced further away from the epicenter of the action. All over towards his garage direction. They can still go for it, but it's going to take a lot. Here is the Rolling Thunder. Comes on through the side. G2 barely affected by it, though. Jonah's clear of it. Still loses out to Aspas there, and Leaf is tucked up on logs. Finds one. Doesn't expect there to be a second somehow. And Jedom gets another.
It's dwindling so low. Trent still has the missiles right now, and they can't even get it to half MIBR.
Yeah, that's a problem. Trent knows he can give up his life, and
they've got to run
for the round. That's it. 3 gun save for MIBR. They've got to go. Textbook execution for G2, perfect use of util, but it was costly in terms of those ultimates.
An excellent timing from Leaf to rip that Steel Garden. Rolling Thunder hadn't even come in yet. He just knows he's going to catch the majority of the players in that forward position. He gets onto logs. Great decision making from him. Gets the maximum value extracted from that ultimate. And from there, it essentially made this retake impossible. Even though the trades were favoring the MIBR team, you could just see, based on the time throughout that entire retake attempt, that they were doomed. Trent was way out of the way, still had missiles.
It took a lot though, didn't it? A heck of a lot. Okay, Razorvine, that's from G2 just to stop a fast push out of A, but MIBR really loosely holding this side of the map. They don't set up heavily here. They've been playing a 1-3-1 for so many of these defensive side rounds.
So you have Aspas, he's taking this angle on window so he can allow the other MIBR players to safely walk down, won't get swung there, and they've inserted Arts in so far forward. He can't push further because obviously there's that sheer wall in front of him, doesn't want to trip that right now. But it's allowing the rest of the team to rotate, favor towards A.
When VALORANT was in this spot last half, he took a 3K out of the round. Now, they didn't win it, but it was still huge. Trent doesn't give him anything. Artazine hears this. He knows something's coming. There's the one. He'll have to walk away with that one because he's given himself away. And then he reposts that same position. Slightly different, but he's still set up in window.
And Verno right now double facing the Shannon towards long. They should have an opportunity to fight forward right now.
That gate crash cleared. Aspas off the line. There's the flash came in. VALORANT able to find two quick ones off the rip. It's just Aspas here on the side.
How is that double face dismantled so quickly by just VALORANT?
Cortesia can't get in. He's smoked off, and Jonah shuts down the human tornado.
Aspas could just feel the walls closing in on him. Knew he was getting pushed from behind. Cortesia, can he be the hero? Again, he has been phenomenal so far on Haven.
Artazine coming forward now. Previously embedded in that mid-window position. Another one for Cortesia was so necessary there. It's down to the young gun Artazine. Second year in Americas. Looking for something. Jorgamo, though, will knock him down. And this is G2 inching closer to this map win.
We've got to see how VALORANT was able to dismantle that double face setup. Verno and Shannon both going down just to that one man.
He's cooking this map.
At long. Oh, the clone just
the flash.
Completely disrupted that setup. MIBR were in a fantastic position to win that round, with Artzine getting the pick on Trent, getting the space down mid, just congesting G2 into A, and MIBR set up for that, and it doesn't even matter. That is crazy that they're able to get away with that round win.
11-7 now. Rolling Thunder at the ready for the attackers. That's G2, of course, 4 rounds in the lead. And this time MIBR really leans so heavily onto the A side of the map with this awkward buy Guardian in the mix for Verno.
Yeah, they haven't opted to go for the full buy here. Just get what you can, and then let's have a full buy on the next. If we lose, we can try to play this for OT.
It's good to see Cortesi with a gun, but he doesn't play the proactive role in Garage this round. He gives up the site. MIBR want to make use of the double initiated util for a retake.
And again, that's an example. Wow, Jaw going down because Aspas is taking a risk. Going over the smoke, finds that opening. That could be the pivotal moment where MIBR can get an unlikely round win.
Tick-tock, Wyatt. Time of the essence here for MIBR.
The Leaf is on a reflank through spawn right now.
Look at the Astra util set up back C. There's so much to delay.
He is playing this perfectly. The timings from Leaf here are lovely.
He's going to hit both of them. He's going to have a chance to collapse. This is devastating for MIBR, potentially. Oh, no, not again. Against the Sheriff of all things, Leaf whiffs it. Now G2 down to 2. Still, time crucial. Artzine taken down as he tries to defuse. There's no time, surely. Armageddon comes through now. That's earned by Trent that will shut down the defuse attempt. Cortesia falls, and G2 trying to finish the job, but it's not enough. Are you kidding? Shed on with 3 for the round. And MIBR, an unlikely round win with an awkward bye, stay in the game.
Just too many players to deal with, despite that util tsunami coming through from G2 with the Armageddon. Missiles prior just doesn't matter.
What happened to Leaf from that reflank?
That was a disastrous moment. This is where Aspas opens things up, though. That initial kill, but Leaf, 2 players susceptible to that flank completely, but cannot capitalize. He played that round, those timings so well, but when it comes down to the gun duel moments, again, he has been really hit or miss today. When he's hitting, he is hitting, but he has had some crucial misses too.
It's like you do everything right and the souffle still collapses in the oven, bro. It's brutal. Aspas, okay, has to get out of there.
No way.
No, not more right clicks, Aspas. You can't be serious.
No way.
That's 2 with the classic. Aspas gets a rifle, but there's not enough bullets there. Jonah's able to find a pistol of his own.
That is a devious recommit with the classic.
He's done enough. Verno cleans Leaf up, and JoshRT is the last one standing. What a messy round. Oh, buddy. There it is. Verno for 3 and MIBR. Still in this, still fighting.
That is stunning and fearless. Definitely a moment where he's just beating some of the passive allegations by re-pushing down with the classic. This man's got the off. At G2, why would they expect this? It is a madman play to make.
It is giving Valen on Pearl pushing up with the stinger.
There was one specific timing, one specific second that he could try to go for that. Takes it. Fearless.
Deep breaths. Into round 21. Rifles here for G2 still, and Aspas. Fool me once, shame on me.
Maybe overheating just a bit. Off the confidence from that prior round. Wants to take that initial shot, dash away, but G2 too swift on the kill.
Many such cases in the past. He's not the first, won't be the last. That is an op dropped though, whichever way you slice it.
Drone is down. Now if they go for this execute over towards A, you can see the breach Taeho defensively on that side of the map. Could certainly imagine a situation where Arton wants to rip a fault line, and then you have the Armageddon after that to find that pick, bring it back to a 4v4 on a spike tap.
Now that A side is threadbare, G2 can start to make their way up here. God, what a game this has been. Okay, all the util, of course, pleasantries exchanged, but no one there to receive them. It's going to be full retake for this MIBR squad, who do have Armageddon to work with.
MIBR exercising some caution from ripping that too early. They want to slow things down. Shenum is so far away. Could be a very precarious situation on the flank as Leaf again tries to find his reflank.
Shenum can TP in still. There is that option. Looking for late lurks, looking to catch someone out here.
I mean, hell, he could TP to spot someone out and then Armageddon them.
Yeah, that is true. Cortesia deals with Leap. That's the threat from Link now, trying to get back into the side of Shenum, getting activated, got the player over towards A long. It's Trent and Valen, 2v2 all of a sudden. Time, though, again of the essence. Neural Theft activated, MIBR with all the cards, and there's Cortesia with another one. Trent has to save this, once more with the stall util. Listen out, there's not enough time. G2 barely outlast MIBR.
And oft is the case in this meta. Time is your worst enemy. Trent, passive, just waiting with the missiles, waiting for that moment where he knows that he can win that out in the clutch by simply staying alive. They red Leaf's flank. Shenum catches the timing on Jonah. Cortesia continues to play at a very high level. This is one of the best series he's had so far.
I guess you mentioned that Shenum is a little slow on this late wrap. It was ultimately not quite enough time, but a very close round still. Timeout, of course, has to be called here as we are on map point. MIBR 9 rounds, respectable. But again, for the kind of game that Cortesia has been able to put out here, they've got to hope for more. And this is Frod's last chance to get them shipshape.
Aspas is going to have the cash to buy into an operator again, so certainly looking for him to do that. I mean, we've been speaking about the ults that they have. That man Verno, who's on the Taeho, has still got the Armageddon in his hands. G2 are on the precipice of taking their map win here, bringing us to Ascent, a map 3 in this series, righting the wrongs. And the last time we saw the best team we've got in America's on this Haven map, bouncing back, leaning into it as a pick against an MIBR team that is debuting on it this year. This is the first time we've even seen them on Haven at all.
Attack side dimensional drift here for Jorg, so Stinger in hand. Makes sense. Look at what a map Valen has had. Just incredible moments.
Now, MIBR, they have really been leaning into aggressive looks at barrier drop. Aspas trying to go forward with the op, or holding angles for his teammates to be able to walk down into forward positions as another option. Last round, it had him punished straight off the jump.
Here we go. Time to drift.
Time to jump.
Of course, Jorgmo gets ahead of this onto the C site, trying to pave the way for G2 to set up shop for a post-plant scenario. Cortesia, unsurprisingly, in his natural habitat of Garage.
He has been a brick wall in Garage round after round. Plant comes through. Still, Armageddon for the retake. Have to keep your eyes on that as the Cosmic Divide goes down.
And look at Jorgo is playing so close to the Divide here. So much so that he's affected by that special delivery. Stunned up, but he's ready to take the shorty to work. Timing, though, works against him. Arzin can't get into the site, though. There's a Razorvine that will slow MIBR down. Inferno disrespects it. That's 2 kills now. 3 up for G2. It's getting a little bit dicey, a little bit scary. But Valen tries to hold him steady. It's Trent amidst that armor. Get it out of here, folks, is MIBR. Get the defuse off the timeout. And they are, and I've said it many times this game, still in this.
That is a clinical retake. Jaw going to be frustrated that he's the victim of a sickening timing. That peek through the wall from Arzin, which gets him that. I mean, what the hell? He didn't even see him, man. He wasn't even on his screen.
What do you like of that one?
Insane, but this second shot, oh my god, Aspas looks ridiculous with the operator.
That is a Gachi-based moment.
Not like that really needs to be said. That has been the case for 3 years of competitive play. That Aspas has just been lethal with that weapon.
I'm just putting it out there. That money is not looking good for G2. Ooh, buddy.
That's despite getting the plant too.
Yes.
They're going to have a bad buy into this next one. That should be a round worth 2 versus for MIBR, excuse me.
God,
Off the back of that retake win.
Give me extra innings yet again.
Double
frustration.
OT?
Yeah, frustration has to be starting to mount here for G2. A really respectable start. I mean, like the 7 defense side rounds looked quite good, and that's the kind of round where they really just pave the way. They make use of the the Cosmic Divide. They get the side dimensional drift. It's big investment of ultimates to set up what should have been a very straightforward, nominal round for G2. It all goes horribly wrong.
Out of the timeout from JoshRT, who has been successful at bringing G2 round wins straight out of the timeouts. We did see that on Pearl a couple of times. What has he got in store for them here? And one of the times it even resulted in G2 getting an eco round win straight out of the timeout. At the moment, their economy is worse for wear than the example I'm harkening back to from Pearl. This is a pretty tragic buy. It would be even more tragic if this gets them over the finish line, though we've seen that happen plenty of times. A team is on the comeback trail and suddenly it's the eco round that undoes you.
Okay, a lot of util over towards Garage here, but it's 2 players actually that can post up here for MIBR. Verno patiently just steps back. Could re-clear this now with the stealth drone. Sees the Yoru straight away. Now, where do we go? That wall obviously is set up, indicating that G2 are favoring a C here.
MIBR want to explore a little bit towards mid, though. I am cautious and weary of them overplaying on this round. A little bit scared, but it doesn't seem like that's going to be the case. You have Aspas controlling over towards A right now with the operator. Well, we watched G2 try and advance through mid, where MIBR have been able to stack up due to Aspas positioning.
Arzin close to that Rolling Thunder could be big in a pinch. No dangerous days here. Special delivery buys him some time, some space. He gets out of Garage, gets just out of the hallway onto C. But here comes G2 hot on his heels. They're not looking to waste any time now. We're down to 33 seconds. Jorgamo gets taken down. Remember, awkward buy for G2. They don't have much to work with, but they get to the site. Still looking for that plant. Okay, throwing some salvos out, tries to go for it. Shenum does get brought down, and it's all on Jonah. MIBR, indeed, should be able to convert on a crucial previous round to get themselves within striking distance of that overtime on Haven.
He desperately wants to get that rifle. I mean, nice little dink, but ultimately not going to matter. I love how Verno played that round, able to fire off that special delivery to delay G2, who wanted to just run him down with the stingers. Gets out backside, where you've already got Cortesia, Shenum set up together, ready to anchor this as a unit. It is so unlikely to feel that Verno would look so comfortable and have so much chemistry with this Brazilian team. But it is the case. He is flowing on this squad right now.
And here it is, the definitive round potentially of this series. MIBR with a chance to take us to overtime. A G2 with a chance to take us to Ascent.
Oh, look at how desperately G2 do not want to have to contend with this operator down sewer.
And yet,
multiple util pieces just to force Aspas off that aggressive line.
Aspas has to know it's going to be more than just raw contact from a double initiator comp. And yep, forced off the line by the stealth drone. Now maybe post up over towards A long. Here's a Rolling Thunder. Aspas trying to get off the site. Oh, okay, just gets away inside that cloudburst. Now a full retake here has to be set up for MIBR. It's all G2 over this A site.
Yeah, just in the past few rounds, another Rolling Thunder has been built up by Artzin. Steel Garden coming through now as well.
Jonah on the side, forced back. Aspas doesn't need his primary weapon right now. The Blade Storm is active, and he sees a golden opportunity to pluck the cherry from the head of Leaf. No connection, and here is that Rolling Thunder. Artzin gonna follow it in, but there is a grab well that will slow him up somewhat. Aspas caught out. It's G2 now. Verno trying to get in the clear. Good for one, but there's so much more to do. Too much to ask, in fact. And Genum finds himself alone in heaven. A very exposed position. And G2 can bide their time. Return to their old patient tricks. Genum attempts a little fake TP, caught out though by the Nova Pulse. And this is a formality, folks. We are headed to a 6.
And by a millimeter, G2 are just a cut above on their map pick. That was the first time we've seen MIBR on Haven, and they look pretty stellar. But G2 are righting the wrongs from the last time they played this when they fell to T1 back at Bangkok. Looking excellent right now. IGL Valen stepped up individually, top fragging in the server, something he is known to do. One of the best mechanical individual IGLs in the game, no doubt. That was a great showing across the board, playing their post plants to the win cons of their comp perfectly. Again, it's this textbook fundamental Valorant from G2 that is always so consistent. They are one of the teams that have the highest floors. When do you see these guys playing badly? It just doesn't happen.
And where's the ceiling? That's the second question that I have for you. This is a series that has everything. Fragging IGLs, a battle of two world champion duelists, both who've gone over towards the Waylay, Ascent around the corner. We know that Jorgamo has picked Waylay on that map as well. We've seen incredible setups here from these young rookies on the side of MIBR, while the tried and true roster of G2 is still delivering excellence for us. Why, I have no idea how this is going to go. Jonah P and Trent combining beautifully there in that last map. It's time for a quick break, a breather. But when we return, our analysts are going to get us ready, hyped up for map 3.